Time is running out for humanity as Project Blue Beam is getting ready to be launched very shortly. What the elites won't tell you, however, is that Project Blue Beam is as much as getting you to believe in the Antichrist, as it is as much to form a new world order. The two are one and the same thing. Furthermore, Project Blue Beam seeks to elaborately explain away the disappearance of millions of people through the Rapture, which is precisely why they spent trillions of dollars of black budget money to pull off the deception of a lifetime. In this video we will discuss how Project Blue Beam relates to the Antichrist and how it is also a desperate attempt to cover up a very little known event called the Rapture, not to be confused with the Second Coming, which is a separate event. The satanic elite know that the rapture of the church remnant is imminent, and is soon on its way. They have made real plans to front-run the rapture or immediately follow it after, with the hope that they could explain away the disappearance of 30 to 50% of the world's population. They will blame it on the aliens and say that the aliens have taken away the people. In fact, they have spent trillions of dollars on anti-levitation devices, cattle mutilation phenomenal. This is why Elon keeps hinting that a population collapse is near, and why the Deagle report showing vastly reduced numbers of humanity's population, and why only 500 million will remain at the end of the last bowl of judgment on the Georgia Guidestones. However, the elite will blame this on low fertility, on alien abductions, on disease, on war, on radiation, and amongst other things. What is it about needing aliens and spaceships for a new world order? In theory, one could coerce people into a new world order through other political means or economic means. A full-blown alien invasion is not really required for a basic takeover of borders. If you ask Alexander the Great, he didn't need any alien invasions to create a new world order on this planet. The difference here, however, that is different from other empire takeovers is the Rapture event, which is the trump card. Ordinarily, the Rapture is hard to explain away without a distracting event, and they would need to discredit the Rapture or explain it away. Once the fullness of the Gentiles has been reached, which is likely going to be exactly 2,000 years after Jesus' death, in the 2030 to 2033 period, after which those who remain true as part of the remnant will be sealed into the ark. In the blink of an eye they will dematerialize or phase out of this three-dimensional existence and be taken into heaven, where they will await the second coming. It makes sense that the elites will activate Blue Beam either immediately before the event to deceive Christians, or they will do this immediately after to explain away the fact that 30% of the population mysteriously vanished overnight. To the majority of people watching this, who are likely not religious, or not Christian, you needn't take the Bible as proof of this, but look toward secular media such as The Simpsons, which we know has predictive programming for the future and was designed to use the revelation of the method practice. In one episode they clearly mention the rapture with humans suddenly dematerializing out of their clothes / the non-Christians and the lukewarm apathetic Christians are left behind. There is even a Hollywood movie called Left Behind.
Mr. Thompson, what's happening?
It's the Rapture, Shauna. The Rapture. The virtuous have gone to heaven, and the rest of us have been left below. We must suffer through the apocalypse.
I thought all religions were a path to God. I was wrong.
Project Blue Beam, according to the book by Sergei Monast, is the implementation of a new era with the Antichrist at its head, and will be achieved in 4 stages. Stage 1, the discreditation of archaeological evidence and knowledge, and the appearance of new so-called evidences or discoveries which will discredit Christianity. Stage 2, 3-dimensional optical holograms, sounds, and laser projections of multiple holographic figures in different parts of the world, each receiving an image corresponding to their predominant regional religious faith, for instance Krishna appearing in India, and Buddha appearing in Nepal. Stage 3, an electronic telepathic communication for mind control, MK Ultra, and thought implantation to convince people that the holograms are talking to them. Stage 4, tricking mankind to believe that a UFO invasion is coming and putting integrated ships in individuals. Imagine what would happen if Los Angeles is hit with a 9.0 earthquake, New York City is destroyed by a terrorist-planted atomic bomb, World War III breaks out in the Middle East, the banks collapse, extraterrestrials land on the White House front lawn. Food disappears from the markets, humans suddenly disappear, the Messiah presents himself to the world, and all in a very short period of time. The world structure can then be poised to establish the new world order, Satan's kingdom on earth. Let us briefly touch on the steps individually. Step 1. The fabrication of archaeology. Many holy relics will be deemed as medieval forgeries, and many fake potteries will come to light stating that the Old Testament God was a volcano deity, an archon, or the devil himself. Step 2. They will state that certain manuscripts have been forged and redacted to show that Jesus was actually a Gnostic who tried to achieve Christ-like consciousness himself. They will say he was not a god and say that the goal of every human is to achieve Christ-like consciousness using his pineal gland. Step 3. Three-dimensional holographic laser projections will be beamed all over the planet, with the projections taking shape of whatever religious figure is most predominant in each region. The holograms will telepathically speak in all languages. At the end of this light show, the gods will merge into one god, the Antichrist, who is named the Maitreya or world teacher. They will say that this teacher is the incarnation of Buddha called the Maitreya, and that he is the next teacher in human history, called by different names to different tribes, all merged in one. Telepathic electronic communication will be then used to speak to them using low-frequency radio waves, and this will occur through the surrounding electronic equipment in your home, including microwaves, coax cables, phone cables, Wi-Fi routers, mobile phones, and other advanced technology that is able to use thought implantation. Through MK Ultra brainwave interference technology, they will put voices into people's head affirming them that this hologram is a vision of God. Step 4. All of this will be used to make humans believe that a massive alien invasion has occurred and that the rapture is about to happen soon or has just happened. In fact, the elites even jokingly say they will play the Beethoven's Ode to Joy as the New World Order emerges from chaos. Once the third temple in Greater Jerusalem, from the Nile to the Euphrates, has been constructed, animal sacrifices will have been resumed by the Antichrist Maitreya, who will wear white robes like the high priests in the Old Testament. He will enter the Holy of Holies and declare himself a god at this point. Shortly before this, he will ban the Eucharist globally under pain of death. Apostasy rules will match Islamic Sharia law. Daniel's desolation of abomination is complete and Jacob's trouble will intensify. At this point, everyone remaining who had not been raptured will have to face the Antichrist. This will include the majority of Muslims and Jews, who will for a brief period of time follow this new Messiah as the Mahdi. Failure to receive the Neuralink mark and bend the knee to the beast will result in a beheading and a cut-off from your Xapp WebAuth proton banking system. Thankfully, this season is very short and will last only 3.5 years before he is finally cut off. This is the midnight hour, which is referred to in Michael Jackson's song, The Thriller. The elites call this the Black Awakening, which is a full-blown zombie virus activation via graphene oxide and smart dust, colloquially called the Black Goo. Through full-blown MK Ultra and elaborate thought implantation techniques, as well as portals opened in CERN-like regions, physical demonic possession will sweep the globe. As well as Neuralink's ability to biohack every human's consciousness for the living and the dead, the Frankenstein golem. Satan will then, for a period of time, have his own demonic army, as referenced in the movie The Mummy, wherein he finally has a material human form to summon the army of the undead. The midnight hour is also referenced in the Bible as referring to either the rapture or the second coming, probably the second coming. In Michael Jackson's song, he talks about the midnight hour being close at hand and creatures crawling in the search of blood, talking about how demons are closing in on every side to possess you and get you.
They're out to get you. There's demons closing in on every side. They will possess you unless you change that number on the dial. And now is the time for you and I to cuddle close together.
In the song Double Life by Pharrell Williams, he states that before the spinning stops, i.e. the pole reversal, you must pick a side. As pole reversal completes in 2045, this leaves humanity with at max 20 years before the end of this timeline simulation. He says you never know when it's your time to go, it's now or never, before the spinning stop you must pick a side. As this is a duality and a test, there are only two options, the 5D timeline with the Christ in the millennial kingdom, or the 3D hellish timeline with the Antichrist and his undead demonic army. You choose. There are no in-betweeners, the apathetic will be vomited out and join the demonic army by default. It's not fair, but these are the rules of this Earth Squid Game, rise or perish. A looped simulation test to earn your wings as referenced in the movie, Groundhog Day.
Running out of time. Don't you see that everything is on the line? So I'm sorry, but you have to choose a side. You never know when it's your time to go, and will you end up in life that's cold? You can't ignore you're spending your life. Your watch is broken cause you spent all your time. It's now or never on this everything bright.
Tonight, that's the question. What group be tonight? That's the question. Will you be tonight? That's the question. What group be tonight?